Democrats are trying to quickly reach a bipartisan deal to avoid a government shutdown. Plus, there is new stimulus programs around the country that will begin sending out more stimulus checks. So Democrats, everybody, are floating another short-term spending bill that kicks the next shutdown threat closer to the holidays. Now, as they approach the December 3rd deadline, top Democrats are considering a stopgap further into December as the leading option, potentially or even closer to Christmas. And rather than a longer continuing resolution that pushes the deadline into the new year, nothing has been decided, and support for another fast fix is building as Democrats berate Republicans.
On this first North American Leaders Summit since 2016. And our North American vision for the future draws on our shared strengths as well as three vibrant democracies with dynamic populations and economy wishing to work together. That we can meet today and we can meet all the challenges if we just take the time to speak with one another by working together. And we have to end the pandemic and to take decisive actions to curb the climate crisis. We've had a chance to speak a little earlier today, but we have to drive an inclusive economic recovery and make sure all of our people share in the benefits. We have to manage the challenges of unprecedented migration into our hemisphere and to take on an equity that continues to deny opportunity to too many people. As leaders, we share an innate understanding that our diversity is an enormous strength, that we're best able to reach our potential when we unleash the full range of our people's talents.
Economy into the gutter. Now think about it. A year ago, we had the best economy that we had had in decades. Unemployment for women, for African Americans, for Hispanics at an all-time low. Wage growth at an all-time high. Now the economy is in the gutter. Our southern border is now in shambles. The hearing we had yesterday with Secretary Mayorkas was so dissatisfying because he did not have facts and figures and answers. And we see a country that is incredibly divided. But at least the American people now know just how in denial the White House is about what it takes to be living in the real world. Their constant attempts to downplay the mess they've made have had the opposite effect, and now everyone knows just how out of touch they are with anyone who regularly pulls in at the gas station to fill up their own car or darkens the door of a grocery store to buy the groceries that they need. Yesterday, I came to the Senate floor and asked the question, what will it take for the Biden administration to take the threat of Chinese aggression seriously? The evidence is staring them in the face, and yet they refuse to acknowledge that there is a danger, that China is our adversary. Certainly, the president's phone call did not give us any comfort in knowing that he understands that they are an adversary. And today I have a similar question. What will it take for the Biden administration to take the American people seriously when they repeatedly warn us that the economy is in trouble? They are living the warning signs every single day. But try as they might to convince us otherwise, this administration's talking points are all about happy talk, better jobs numbers, and the pockets of growth. But this is not anything that is representative of the economy at large. Still, every policy that they've proposed this year assumes that the cost of inflation are a myth, that inflation is concocted by Republicans, that it is there, it's a talking point to scare American families. Madam President, how completely out of touch can this administration be. They're proving the point that they're elitist, that they live in a bubble. What they keep saying to people is, oh, you know, it's $1 here, it's $1 there, it doesn't really matter that much.
So even if Congress enacts another stopgap, provides a couple of additional weeks to negotiate, prospects are bleak for a bipartisan government funding deal before the end of December, likely necessitating another stopgap into early next year. And the Republican Senator Richard Shelby told reporters it would take a miracle to work out a deal between now and then. Do you think they can get the fourth stimulus check sent out in time, everybody? Let me know your thoughts on this. So in failing to negotiate a deal, both Republicans and Democrats will lose out on billions of dollars for projects back home, brought about by the return of earmarks and as a decision backed by Senate Democrats. So another 430,000 households have received surprise tax refunds. That's worth an average of around $1,200 from the IRS. That comes as calls continue to grow for more stimulus money. The agency also says it's sending refunds to people who wrongly paid taxes on unemployment compensation. It's welcoming a cash boost for plenty of Americans and are hoping for a fourth stimulus check to be approved. And just this week, the Treasury Department and IRS sent out the fifth batch of monthly child tax credit payments. This distributed more than $15 billion in payments to families, and that included about 61 million children. The agency said that they have sent out a total of about $77 billion in monthly payments. That's since the program began in July. Families are now eligible for payments of up to $300 a month for children under age 6. And the monthly child tax credit payment came about as a result of the relief law that President Biden enacted earlier this year. The relief law also increased the amount of the credit and made the credit fully available. The child tax credit expansion in the relief law was only for 2021. Meaning the monthly payments will end in December unless Congress acts fast. Can they act fast, everybody? Tell me in the comments down below. But the White House and congressional Democrats are still hoping to enact in the near future a spending bill that extends the expanded child tax credit for a year. Janet Yellen said in a statement that the tax credit is giving families across America the flexibility to pay for household goods. That's good news, folks. If you have any more questions about the fourth stimulus check, leave them in the comments below.
Embraces budget gimmicks, like assuming that some of the most important initiatives will be allowed to expire in just a few years. The result is a package that front-loads spending while tax revenues only arrive over the course of a decade. Mr. Ratner cites an outside estimate that, quote, the plan would likely add $800 billion or more to the deficit over the next 5 years, exacerbating inflationary pressures, end quote. Now this person I just quoted is a former top advisor to President Obama, by definition a liberal Democrat, explaining that the Democrats' new proposal as currently constituted would make inflation worse. He says it's the Democrats' proposal itself